put up her sleeve and looked right at him, and just as they gave her a shot, she never winced.
Oh,
and my,
really?
my 6-year-old boy was just dying, but my gentle boy was here, and Grace was, no, it gets it now.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah, he had to go along with it, I guess,
Yeah.
huh?
I mean, she's the one that puts me in my place for sure.
Kevin Costner could really use a break. After a messy divorce with a woman he had planned forever with and ongoing health concerns, he now faces a lawsuit that could threaten both his money and reputation. From personal setbacks to relentless public scrutiny, his life has been far from easy. What exactly is this new controversy shaking up his world? And could he ever walk away from an industry that has given him fame, success, and trouble in equal measure? Join us as we uncover the challenges and controversies surrounding Kevin Costner today. A new beginning. Divorces are rarely simple, but the recent legal battle between Kevin Costner and Christine Baumgartner has been as dramatic and unpredictable as Yellowstone itself. Before tying the knot in 2004 at his Aspen ranch, Kevin and Christine took the prudent step of signing a prenuptial agreement, a common move when one partner enters marriage already having built a substantial fortune. But Kevin definitely didn't see himself getting into a messy divorce. He recently opened up about the difficult end of his 18-year marriage and discussed the challenges of divorce and co-parenting. The divorce began when Christine filed in May 2023, citing irreconcilable differences and listing April 11, 2023 as the date of separation. The divorce proceedings were extensive. Court documents in July 2023 revealed that Christine requested $248,000 in monthly child support and had not yet vacated their California beachfront home in violation of their prenuptial agreement. By February 2024, Kevin and Christine had finalized their divorce, keeping the financial details private. The court even waived a co-parenting class, as the couple had agreed on joint custody and largely settled their differences by September. But while he was going through emotional and logistical challenges of the divorce, Kevin was also confronting health concerns. Back in 2016, while filming Hidden Figures, Kevin endured severe kidney stones, completing the final 2 weeks of production on morphine and an IV drip to manage the pain. Years later, friends expressed concern for his health, fearing that the stress from his divorce and his work could trigger a recurrence of his kidney issues. Around the same time, unverified reports surfaced online, claiming he had been hospitalized for a skin cancer complication, though these claims have not been confirmed. Due to the inevitable stress, Kevin has decided to slow down for a bit. However, Christine has moved on and remarried. Heartbreak at its peak. She tied the knot with financier Josh Costner on October 18th at the private Santa Ynez Ranch Vineyard in Southern California. Their intimate wedding included 100 close family and friends, with the children of both parties in attendance. Christine wore a custom Mira Zwillinger gown, while Costner donned a tailored black tuxedo. Now, Kevin is focused on moving forward. Despite the legal battles and personal struggles, he's determined to put the past behind him. But luck hasn't exactly been on his side, and recent challenges have complicated that path, including one situation that has stirred widespread discussion and cast a shadow over his reputation. What heartbreaking situation does Kevin have himself wrapped up in this time? And how does it affect his reputation? Alleged on-set misconduct. Kevin Costner has recently been named in a sexual misconduct lawsuit by stunt performer Devin LaBella. LaBella, who was hired as Ella Hunt's stunt double under a Screen Actors Guild agreement, claims that during the 2023 filming of Horizon, An American Saga, Chapter 2, Kevin directed a scene that was unplanned and non-consensual. The lawsuit, filed in Los Angeles County Superior Court, also named the film's production companies. LaBella, hired as actress Ella Hunt's stunt double under a Screen Actors Guild agreement, claimed she was forced into an unexpected and violent scene that violated industry safety and consent rules. LaBella's job was to handle Hunt's physical stunts, while all intimate or sexual scenes required prior notice, approval, and coordination. But according to her filing, the boundaries of that agreement broke down on May 2, 2023. After weeks of filming without incident, she said Kevin added a new scene involving actor Roger Evans that was not listed on the call sheet. Hunt allegedly refused to participate and left the set, after which LaBella was asked to step in without warning or safety measures. The scene was filmed on an open set with no intimacy coordinator present, and LaBella claimed Kevin neither called action nor cut, leaving her unsure when the filming began or ended. She described the experience as chaotic and deeply violating, saying it stripped her of control and left her traumatized. Afterward, she took several days off and returned to a tense, isolating environment. She said she was told to stay in her trailer while others made excuses for what had happened. The experience, according to the lawsuit, damaged her trust in the industry and triggered ongoing anxiety and fear of intimacy. She began therapy in June 2023 and said the incident changed her approach to her work, turning her into an advocate for safety and consent on film sets. Her attorneys described the case as a reflection of persistent problems in Hollywood, where power dynamics and poor oversight continue to expose performers to harm. They argued that despite clear SAG protocols designed to prevent such incidents, the safeguards failed, leaving LaBella unprotected. Kevin's attorney, Marty Singer, denied all allegations, calling them false and inconsistent. He said Kevin valued safety on his sets and claimed LaBella had rehearsed and approved the scene beforehand, even texting her stunt coordinator afterward with a message of thanks and cheerful emojis. Marty labeled her a serial accuser and said the case had no merit, expressing confidence that Kevin would prevail. LaBella, however, maintained that what happened to her was not a misunderstanding, but a breakdown of professional responsibility. Her lawsuit sought damages and called for stronger accountability within the film industry, particularly around intimate and violent scenes. She said the experience left her determined to ensure no one else was left as vulnerable as she had been. As the case moved forward, it reignited discussions across Hollywood about performer safety, consent, and how power on set can still be abused behind the camera. This wasn't the first time Kevin found himself caught in controversy. It may not have been a misconduct accusation, but it was just as damaging to his reputation. So, what happened? The oil spill solution. When the Gulf of Mexico oil spill devastated coastlines in 2010, Kevin stepped into an unexpected role, not as a Hollywood hero, but as an environmental innovator. His invention, a high-speed centrifugal machine designed to separate oil from water, was hailed as a breakthrough during the crisis. The press dubbed it the Costner solution. Congress invited him to testify, and BP invested more than $50 million into his company's technology. For a brief moment, Kevin seemed poised to turn cinematic imagination into real-world salvation. But the celebration didn't last. Behind the scenes, a bitter legal dispute began to unfold between Kevin and fellow actor Stephen Baldwin Baldwin. The younger brother of Alec Baldwin accused Kevin and his business partners of deception, claiming he had been misled into selling his shares in the company just before BP's multi-million-dollar deal was finalized. Alongside investor Spiridon Kantoguris, Baldwin filed a lawsuit demanding nearly $14 million in damages. Kevin's lawyers argued that he held no formal position within Ocean Therapy Solutions, the firm that markets the machines. In reality, his involvement was closer to that of a high-profile spokesman than to that of an executive. The origins of Kevin's environmental venture stretched back to the mid-1990s, when his post-apocalyptic film, Waterworld, flopped at the box office, but sparked a fascination with ocean technology. Inspired by the film's themes, he invested over $20 million in 15 years developing centrifuges that could clean contaminated water by spinning oil out of it, a cleaner, safer method than traditional burning or chemical dispersal. For years, the technology drew little attention. Then, after the Deepwater Horizon explosion in April 2010, opportunity finally arrived. Ocean Therapy Solutions, newly formed to market the centrifuges, began negotiating with BP for large-scale deployment. Baldwin, who had taken a 10% stake in the company while exploring a documentary about the disaster, joined Contoguris, who held a larger share. Both believed they were early investors in a promising environmental venture. Their optimism soured quickly. According to the lawsuit, they were persuaded to sell their shares in June 2010, just one day before BP officially signed a $52 million deal with Ocean Therapy Solutions to purchase 32 centrifuges. Baldwin and Contoguris claimed they were never told how close the agreement was to completion, and alleged that Kevin and his associates deliberately withheld key information for financial gain. Despite BP's investment, the centrifuges played only a minor role in the cleanup. A few units were tested in the Gulf before the well was capped, but the machines never achieved the sweeping impact their creator envisioned. The Costner solution soon faded from public view almost as quickly as it had emerged. Kevin, however, did not abandon his technological ambitions. Through a new company, Blue Planet Solutions, he continued to promote large-scale environmental response systems, including a billion-dollar proposal for the U.S. government involving hundreds of barges equipped with oil separation devices. As of now, his plan remains unadopted, its future uncertain. The fallout from that moment had already darkened Kevin's public image, but it was far from the last storm he'd weather. The Yellowstone situation. Over the years, numerous reports have described Kevin as prickly, demanding, and challenging to collaborate with. While many admire his talent, some colleagues and associates have found his personality difficult to deal with, and several have publicly shared negative experiences. Kevin's controversial departure from the Yellowstone series drew considerable attention and showed the tension surrounding his professional relationships. As the show's popularity soared, he became one of television's highest-paid actors, reportedly earning $1.3 million per episode. Tension reportedly ran high on the set of Yellowstone Season 5, when Kevin Costner and his co-star Wes Bentley clashed over a key scene. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the dispute began when Kevin allegedly instructed Bentley to ignore the script written by show creator Taylor Sheridan, and instead follow his own direction. A source who claimed to have witnessed the moment said Bentley refused outright, replying that he had signed up for a Taylor Sheridan show, not a Kevin Costner production. The disagreement quickly escalated. The same source described a heated confrontation where Kevin and Bentley ended up face-to-face, pushing and shoving until crew members intervened. No punches were thrown, but the tension was palpable. Kelly Riley, who plays Beth Dutton, was said to be visibly upset, and production was temporarily halted as emotions cooled. Though this altercation wasn't the defining moment of Kevin's eventual exit from the series, it reportedly deepened the growing strain between him and the production team. Kevin's history of confrontation extends well beyond Yellowstone, stretching back decades. He once sued his longtime producing partner for $15 million, feuded with fellow actors like Clint Eastwood and Kurt Russell, and dismissed advice from experienced directors, including Steven Spielberg. Industry insiders also allege that Kevin frequently rewrites scripts and overrules directors on set, often asserting full creative control. Despite this, he left the series to focus on his passion project, Horizon, an American saga. The decision sparked frustration among cast and crew, as scheduling conflicts and creative disagreements complicated the transition. His exit required delicate handling due to the show's intricate storylines and ensemble cast. The departure generated significant tension with Yellowstone creator Taylor Sheridan, who had to adjust the storyline while honoring the character Kevin had developed. The creative team prioritized narrative integrity over personal dynamics, but the exit inevitably left a mark on the series' production and interpersonal relationships. The focus remained on preserving the story, even as the fallout highlighted the complexities of balancing actor commitments, creative vision, and contractual obligations. Kevin's departure also impacted his co-stars. Several former cast members reportedly reacted with disappointment and distance, creating an atmosphere of detachment. Relationships that were once cordial and collaborative cooled in the months following his exit. Longtime colleagues who had praised him publicly in interviews grew more reserved, and the warmth and camaraderie that had characterized the set diminished. Beyond television, Kevin experienced notable public friction with other figures in the entertainment industry. One memorable incident occurred during his appearance in the 1991 documentary Madonna: Truth or Dare. While attempting to offer a casual greeting to the pop icon backstage, his remarks were met with visible disapproval. The encounter, captured on film, showcased the unpredictable and sometimes uncomfortable interactions that can arise when personalities clash. Though he felt a degree of embarrassment, the experience later offered perspective on public perception, humility, and the unpredictable consequences of interpersonal encounters in the celebrity sphere. Despite such challenges, Kevin maintained a focus on professional commitments and personal responsibilities. His career spans decades, featuring acclaimed performances, large-scale productions, and enduring influence in film and television. However, these successes coexist with a reputation for being exacting and sometimes difficult to please, creating a dichotomy between his celebrated on-screen presence and the complicated reality of collaborating with him off-screen. Even with all the criticism and on-set clashes, one film looked like it could prove Kevin's worth in Hollywood, but things didn't go as planned. So, what happened? Dances with Wolves. When Kevin Costner filmed Dances with Wolves in South Dakota, many locals had never heard of him. Loretta Cook, a Lakota Sioux living on the Pine Ridge Reservation, saw a photo of herself with Kevin and asked casually who he was, joking about whether he was a friend's boyfriend. Fast forward, and Kevin's presence in the state has become impossible to ignore. His film, depicting a U.S. cavalry officer joining the Sioux, now anchors state tourism campaigns, movie tie-ins fill store shelves, and both officials and residents praise Kevin for capturing South Dakota's landscapes and portraying Native Americans with nuance and respect. The film's success has bolstered tourism across South Dakota, yet the Lakota communities at its heart see little benefit. Gerald Sherman, director of the Lakota Fund, pointed out that while the state profits from the movie, the people whose stories inspired it remain largely excluded. Pine Ridge, the most historically significant and impoverished reservation, is still mired in poverty and high unemployment. Tourists flock to Mount Rushmore, the Badlands, and the Black Hills, but few venture into the reservations. Basic services are scarce, and even simple convenience stores are hard to find. Travel to see films or attractions is a logistical challenge. For Cook and her neighbors, a trip to Rapid City for a movie screening often required car rentals and shared transport. Renee Mills, director of Pine Ridge's fledgling tourism office, believed sustainable economic growth could come through large-scale tourism development. His vision included the Lakota Cultural Heritage Center, a 40-acre complex with a hotel, museum, restaurants, shops, and a recreated village highlighting traditional Lakota life. Coupled with a potential national park at the Wounded Knee Massacre site, Mills envisions a cultural tourism hub that could provide employment and revive the reservation's economy. State tourism officials, including Susan Edwards, supported these plans. They saw the center as potentially as significant as Mount Rushmore for drawing visitors. However, development faced obstacles. Many residents lacked experience with tourism and remained skeptical. Some opposed turning historically sacred sites into attractions. Educational campaigns were underway to illustrate the benefits and involve the community in planning, but funding remained uncertain. Despite these hurdles, grassroots efforts showed promise. Sherman's Lakota Fund provides small business loans and training, supporting artisans and craftspeople in developing their trades. Cook runs the first Lakota-owned shop off the reservation, selling jewelry and crafts, and works with Pine Ridge artists to expand markets on the West Coast and the East Coast. For many buyers, the film remains the only reference point for Northern Plains art, linking cultural storytelling with economic opportunity. Hollywood interest continues. Productions like Thunderheart Film on the reservations and other studios have contacted tribal offices about future projects. Local tourism leaders view these developments as hopeful signs, though the fundamental challenge remains: creating attractions and infrastructure that make the reservation accessible and economically sustainable. Even as studios brought hope and attention to the reservations, the film industry itself has never been free of drama. Just ask Kevin Costner. But what exactly has been happening behind the scenes? And what are some bridges that have been burned? Behind the feuds and fights, Kevin Costner's career is marked by high-profile conflicts that reveal a more complicated side of Hollywood's golden boy. One of the earliest fractures came during the 1991 blockbuster Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Directed by Kevin Reynolds, who had previously cast Kevin in the 1985 film Fandango, the two men were initially close friends. On set, however, tensions surfaced over creative decisions, particularly Kevin's uneven British accent, which critics noted sounded more Californian than Nottingham. Their relationship worsened when they reunited for Waterworld. Kevin's increasing involvement in the $175 million production clashed with Reynolds' directorial vision. Ultimately straining their friendship to a breaking point, Reynolds eventually walked away. Stating that Kevin should only appear in films he directed himself to preserve his creative control. In later interviews, Reynolds described their collaboration as progressing from discussions to arguments, culminating in a complete falling out. Ironically, the duo reconciled years later while portraying the legendary Hatfields and McCoys in the 2012 miniseries, setting aside personal history to dramatize one of America's most infamous feuds. Kevin's disputes extended beyond directors. While promoting the 1999 drama For the Love of the Game, he publicly criticized Universal Pictures for cutting risque dialogue to secure a PG-13 rating. Kevin argued that the edits compromised the film's artistic integrity. His statements frustrated then-Universal co-chair Stacey Snider, who reminded the actor that he was not the film's director and that studio decisions reflected broader business considerations. Despite this clash, the film's release proceeded as planned, but the episode showed Kevin's readiness to challenge authority in defense of creative principles. His personal life also drew public scrutiny. Following his divorce filing from Christine Baumgartner, Kevin confronted tech entrepreneur Daniel Starr, who had rented a guest house on the couple's California estate for $60,000 per month. Reports indicated that Starr had grown unusually close to Christine during Kevin's absence, prompting a tense confrontation. Starr left months before his lease expired and insisted publicly that no impropriety occurred, framing the dispute as a landlord-tenant disagreement rather than a personal scandal. Across decades, Kevin's career has demonstrated a persistent pattern. He thrives on creative and business challenges, but does not shy away from confrontation when his principles are at stake. Moving away from Kevin's string of controversies, there is finally a brighter turn in his personal life. So, what's been happening behind the scenes? Third time's the charm. Kevin has once again captured public attention, but this time it's not controversial and involves his evolving dating life. Following the finalization of his divorce from Christine, Kevin is reportedly spending time with filmmaker and wellness expert Kelly Noonan Gores. While reports describe their connection as casual, the pair has sparked curiosity as the media tracks their interactions. Kevin's romantic history has consistently drawn attention, with his name linked to Hollywood figures over decades, including Courtney Cox, Whitney Houston, and Jennifer Lopez. At 70, he now appears to be exploring a connection with Kelly, a 46-year-old filmmaker whose career and personal achievements command attention in their own right, independent of her rumored relationship with the actor. Kelly has a deep and varied history in the entertainment industry. Born in Los Angeles in 1979, she began working in entertainment as a child actress, later moving behind the camera to direct and produce. In 2012, she established Elevative Entertainment in Beverly Hills, marking a significant step in her professional journey. Her breakthrough came in 2017 with the production of the documentary Heal, which examined the intricate connections between mind, body, and overall health. The film garnered critical acclaim, winning awards at festivals and cementing her reputation as a filmmaker focused on personal transformation. Building on this success, Kelly published a companion book in 2019, which became a bestseller, and launched the Heal podcast in 2020, interviewing wellness experts, medical professionals, and spiritual teachers. Beyond her career, Kelly is dedicated to spiritual growth, meditation, fitness, and family life. Her social media presence often highlights wellness practices, personal insights, and holistic health approaches, painting a picture of a focused, driven individual with a strong personal brand. Kelly's personal life includes a high-profile marriage to billionaire private equity mogul Alec Gores. They wed in 2016 in Malibu, in a lavish beachside ceremony attended by Hollywood elites and featuring a performance by John Legend. The marriage lasted 8 years, concluding in 2024, and produced a daughter, Riley, now 6. The split was widely reported as emotionally challenging for both parties. Not long after, Kelly lost her Pacific Palisades home to a fire, marking a period of significant personal upheaval. Reports suggest Kevin Costner and Kelly Noonan were introduced through mutual friends, connecting over shared interests and frequent trips to Aspen, Colorado. Their budding relationship has reportedly remained casual, with both maintaining homes and routines on opposite coasts. Kelly in Manhattan Beach, California, and Kevin in Carpinteria, California. Despite the distance, their interactions have drawn attention due to the combination of Kevin's iconic Hollywood status and Kelly's independent success in film and wellness. Since his divorce, Kevin has maintained a measured public presence. Earlier this year, he was briefly linked to Jennifer Lopez, though no lasting connection was established. Now, with his reported relationship with Kelly Noonan, the actor appears to be navigating new romantic territory, balancing discretion with the natural curiosity that comes with celebrity relationships. For both Kevin and Noonan, the rumored relationship arrives after periods of personal challenge. Their connection is still in its early stages, but fans and media outlets alike are intrigued by the possibility of a partnership that combines Hollywood legacy with a creative, wellness-driven vision. Kevin's messy personal life has gotten a lot of attention lately, and people are starting to wonder if it all traces back to his childhood. Could his early years have something to do with his rocky marriages and the controversies that keep following him? From California roots to the path of stardom, Kevin Costner was born in Linwood, California, and spent his formative years in the bustling suburb of Compton. He was the youngest of 3 boys, though his second brother tragically died at birth. His mother, Sharon Ray Costner, worked as a welfare officer, supporting families in need, while his father, William Costner, built a career as an electrician and later became a utilities executive. Kevin's family heritage is diverse, tracing back to German immigrants who settled in North Carolina in the 1700s, as well as English, Irish, Scottish, Welsh, and Cherokee ancestry. He was raised in the Baptist faith, shaping his early values and community involvement. In school, Kevin did not excel academically, yet he found expression through sports, music, and the arts. Football became an early passion, complementing his dedication to piano lessons, poetry, and singing in his local Baptist choir. His childhood fascination with storytelling and adventure was solidified after watching the 1962 epic How the West Was Won, which ignited a lifelong love for Western films and narratives of rugged landscapes and bold heroes. Kevin's teenage years were marked by frequent moves across California as his father's career evolved. The constant change forced him to adapt socially, often making new friends in unfamiliar towns. He lived in Ventura and later Visalia, where he attended Mount Whitney High School and participated in the marching band, developing discipline and collaborative skills. Eventually, he completed high school at Villa Park High School, graduating in 1973. His time there included playing baseball alongside teammates such as Dennis Burt, fostering a competitive spirit and athletic focus. After high school, Kevin pursued higher education at California State University, Fullerton, earning a Bachelor of Arts in 1978. During his college years, he joined the Delta Chi fraternity, forming close connections and learning the value of camaraderie. In his final year, Kevin discovered a growing interest in acting and dance, a shift from his prior focus on conventional careers. This period marked the beginning of a personal transformation as he explored his creative abilities and contemplated life beyond the ordinary path. A pivotal moment occurred in 1978 during a flight returning from his honeymoon in Puerto Vallarta. On the plane, Kevin encountered actor Richard Burton, a meeting that would profoundly influence his career choice. Unsure about pursuing acting professionally, Kevin sought advice from Burton, who encouraged him to follow his instincts and embrace the craft. He also learned from Burton that it was possible to pursue an acting career without sacrificing personal stability, a reassurance that guided his decisions in the years ahead. With renewed determination, Kevin initially took a marketing position, intending to gain financial stability while exploring creative pursuits. The job, however, lasted only 30 days as his true focus shifted entirely toward acting. Supported by his wife, he began attending intensive acting classes 5 nights a week, immersing himself in performance techniques and industry knowledge. To fund his lessons and build practical experience, Kevin took on a variety of unconventional jobs. He worked on fishing boats, drove trucks, and led tours of Hollywood homes owned by movie stars, combining financial necessity with opportunities to observe and learn from the entertainment industry. Beyond the cameras and headlines, Kevin has a life full of passions and hobbies that reveal a different side of him. But what exactly does he do when he's not acting or caught up in controversy? Life beyond the screen. Beyond acting, Kevin leads Kevin and Modern West, a country rock band he started with encouragement from his then-wife, Christine. The band began touring worldwide in 2007, playing cities like Istanbul and Rome, and even performing at NASCAR events in Daytona and Charlotte. Their first album, Untold Truths, came out in 2008, and tracks like Superman 14 had live videos. While the singles didn't top the charts, the band steadily built a fan base. In 2010, they released Turn It On for European audiences and toured there. Later, they released Tales from Yellowstone, an album inspired by Kevin's character, John Dutton, from the TV show Yellowstone. Featuring songs from the show, Kevin also appeared in the documentary Country Roads, showing his ongoing connection to country music. Baseball has been a recurring theme in Kevin's life and career. Many of his films, including Bull Durham, Field of Dreams, and For Love of the Game, feature him as a professional or former professional player. He is close to the Texas Longhorns baseball program and often attends their practices and games. He also tries to catch College World Series games in Omaha, following his alma mater, Cal State Fullerton. In addition, he was part owner of the Lake County Fielders, a minor league team named in homage to Field of Dreams. In 2021, he led MLB players onto the field for the Field of Dreams game in Dyersville, Iowa, showing his enduring love for the sport. He also opened Tatanka, the story of the bison in Deadwood, South Dakota, a $5 million attraction dedicated to the history of bison and Plains Indians. The centerpiece is a dramatic bronze sculpture showing bison and Lakota riders mid-chase. Kevin ran the Midnight Star Casino and restaurant for decades, eventually selling it in 2020. More recently, Kevin co-founded the audio travel app Hear Here, narrating stories about towns, landmarks, and local history for people on road trips across the United States. It combines his love for storytelling, travel, and American history into an interactive experience for listeners. How much truth do you think there is in Devin Labella's take on Kevin's work habits? And at 70, might he be ready for marriage again, or is he likely to stick to casual relationships from here on? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.